This is KGW News at Sunrise.
This morning on Sunrise, protesters in Salem rallied against House Bill 4002, where they argue that the measure that recriminalizes drugs in Oregon disproportionately affects people of color. Plus, the Washington State Patrol mourns one of its own, what we've learned about the crash that killed an officer on Saturday. Good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Sunday. I'm Deidre Johnson. Before we get to those headlines, let's check in with Daisy Caballero for a quick look at the forecast.
Hey, thanks so much, Deidre. And good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday to you. Taking you out to the Dalles this morning, where we're starting to finally see some sun breaks, a little bit of that blue sky right now. In another beautiful look as we're showing you through our Wells Fargo Sky Cam, our beautiful sunrise to end the weekend and end kind of a crazy past few days that we have seen with snow flurries and of course heavy snow in those higher elevations. It's currently 39 degrees here in the Rose City, and more rain and a wintry mix is on the way. As you can see here, satellite radar still picking up a little bit of that purple here from the Coast Range and also to the Cascades. But in terms of our rain total so far today, really just a few traces as we're looking at Portland, Vancouver, down in Aurora, McMinnville too. But the areas that have seen really the bulk of the action is over in Kelso, nearly 2/10 of an inch, and over 3/10 over off the coast at Astoria. Now, current conditions right now, quick look at your temperatures. We're looking at those 30s really everywhere up and down the I-5 corridor, also up and down the coast. But as we're looking east of the Cascades, we're seeing those cooler temperatures really below freezing or at freezing for Pendleton, Baker City, John Day, 13 degrees for Burns. So quick look at your day for Portland, Vancouver, and also Longview. Daytime highs will be in the mid to low 40s. So we still can expect to see some lingering snow showers for the early morning hours. Then we'll transition into seeing more showers. But more on that 7-day forecast coming up.
Thanks so much, Daisy. Well, Friday night, lawmakers passed a bipartisan bill that would recriminalize drugs in Oregon. But already, some in the state are pushing back. Ashley Grahams takes us to Saturday's rally in Salem.
For justice! For justice! For justice! For justice!
Shouts from the Capitol Saturday afternoon.
We won't go back to the war on drugs!
As some Oregonians push back on the passage of House Bill 4002.
Is declared passed.
The Oregon Senate approved the bill Friday, partially rolling back Measure 110 by making drug possession a new kind of misdemeanor and toughening enforcement against drug dealers. Something social justice advocates say will disproportionately affect Black and Latino communities.
Our biggest issue is the racial impact that it'll have on our communities, which was clearly stated in the racial impact statement from the legislature.
The state released a racial and ethnic impact statement in late February. The report concluded that in some areas there will be a racial disparity for Black and African American individuals, resulting in a higher rate of convictions.
We're also going to keep a close eye on data as it pertains to race. I know there's some concerns about that.
Despite the concern, Republican Senator Tim Knope says the goal of the bill is not to go back to the war on drugs.
The war on drugs decades ago disenfranchised minority communities. Our goal is not to put people in jail or in prison. It's to stop drug dealers from dealing death, essentially, which is what fentanyl is.
When we go, we'll remember this! We'll remember this!
Many of them said in their speeches that they did not enjoy the racial impact statement, that they understood the harm, and yet proceeded to vote yes.
The bill now awaits Governor Kotek's signature, the last hurdle before the bill becomes law.
Governor Kotek has not yet said if she will sign the bill. If she does, drugs would be recriminalized in September. Washington's law enforcement community is mourning one of their own this morning. 27-year-old State Patrol Trooper Christopher Gadd was hit and killed on I-5 near Marysville Saturday morning. The tragedy brought law enforcement from around the area wanting to pay their respects. The Snohomish County Sheriff's Office believes the driver suspected of rear-ending Trooper Gadd's car was speeding before veering off the road. The car then stopped in the road and was hit by a van with 6 people inside. The driver of that van was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. Those in the van were not hurt. Now the State Patrol is honoring a man who made the ultimate sacrifice.
I want them to think about the fact that a man, a good man, a father, a good husband, an outstanding son gave his life in service to the people of the great state of Washington.
Gad leaves behind a wife and a 2-year-old daughter. Washington State patrol officers had to respond to another deadly crash, this one in Longview. It happened just after 10 o'clock at the intersection of State Route 432 and Prudential Boulevard. State Patrol says a car driven by 81-year-old Rodney Strife was attempting to turn onto eastbound 432 when a westbound car hit him. He died at the scene. An investigation will determine if the other driver will face charges. Investigators in Salem are looking into what caused a fire in a quadplex on Saturday. Firefighters arrived to find flames in the inn unit, which was spreading into the shared attic space. Crews were able to bring the fire under control. 2 people were hospitalized and 4 others were evacuated without injury. Well, after dropping their uniform sponsor this week, the Portland Timbers are now offering refunds to fans who purchased the jerseys with the DeBella logo. The team dropped the company as its newest sponsor following sexual harassment allegations against the CEO. Fans who bought the new kits from the team before February 29th have 30 days to return it with proof of purchase to get a full refund. The team is working with third-party vendors to establish a refund policy for those customers. New budget cuts are on the horizon for some school districts in Southwest Washington. That includes Evergreen Public Schools, where the district plans to slash $20 million before the next school year. Thomas Schultz has the latest.
We cannot continue on this way.
Recently, budget cuts have hit Evergreen Public Schools hard. A couple years ago, the district cut nearly 200 positions. Last March, $19 million was slashed from the budget. And on Tuesday, a school spokesperson says the school board is discussing another $20 million in reductions.
If our children are not the priority, then we aren't going to have the future that we need.
Camille Lohman has a kindergartner at York Elementary. She says it's still unclear what exactly will be cut.
If we, as parents, don't know the specifics of what is going to be cut, how do we know how we're going to support our children?
Though she and another parent, Angie Bunda, says they've heard the potential cuts would affect a few core components of school.
Taking away librarians, taking away sports, taking away the arts, taking away everything that makes you feel alive.
Bunda says security personnel at middle schools could also be impacted.
And when we take away everything that inspires our kids, how are they going to do their best or do their best effort to succeed?
In a statement, a paraeducator who preferred to stay anonymous told us there's a hiring freeze for paraeducators. She says budget cuts are starting at the bottom. In a statement, an Evergreen Public School spokesperson says they can't speak to specific cuts before the initial budget reduction recommendations are given on Tuesday, but did say supervisors spoke to those impacted last week. Some will see roles changed. Other jobs will be cut.
We're just going to be left with a bunch of burnt out teachers who love their job and love the students, but don't have the resources or the time or the energy that our children deserve.
And Evergreen isn't alone in budget cuts. Vancouver Public Schools also plans to reduce its budget. And in Washougal, the school district has a $3 million shortfall. And recently, the superintendent announced she'll slash her own salary. Still, in Evergreen, parents are growing more and more concerned about their kids' future.
They deserve a future that is equitable. They deserve a school environment that is fully staffed